4.5 hours to get out of that match. If Blake can plant any kind of seeds of doubt in Federer's mind.
And he sees the big points too, Mary. 3 for 3 to Federer, which when he had break point chances, he converted all 3 of them.
Because once Federer starts relaxing, then
it's done. Yeah,
he looks pretty relaxed so far.
Well, yeah, this is
2 aces to start.
Well, Federer actually will say that after his matches, which he said after that win over Berdych, Chris. After he said, after I won that second set, which I really should have lost, I was outplayed. He says, I was able to relax, go for my shots, no problem. Running away with the match in 3 sets.
Well, in 1 minute's time, Federer secures the first game.
in that third round. After that third round, the headline started looking like this: end of an era. Is he vulnerable? Well, let me just give you a portrait of this vulnerable player. Coming into this round, he's only had 4 double faults against 68 aces. Look at how many times he's broken his opponents. Look how well he's taken care of his own serve. More than twice the number of winners to errors. Okay? So he's playing better than Blake, who's currently playing at about the top of his game.
That was today's headline, and I'm sure Federer read it. He likes to read all the newspapers and keep up on what's being said. I think it was in reference to the fact that Nadal and Djokovic have also been playing very good tennis down here.
Well, both of those guys have not dropped a set. Nadal and Djokovic on the way to the semifinals.
Blake going for a lot in these second serves. He knows that Federer punishes the second serve. That's been the pattern in the previous matches.
2 doubles is not a good start in a row. 15-30.
Here's Brian Barker. Darren made reference to the game plan. They've been cooking up. Been with James for a long time.
Since he was a kid, you know, with a serious temper. Well, Brian's been through a lot with James.
You see the pattern very quickly. James' mom on the left there, but every time he misses a first serve, he feels the pressure to come up with something, and Federer punishing that return and an early break point. And when he's stretched, he goes for the low percentage shot in the corner and misses.
No, that's a terrible first game from Blake. 2 doubles, a first ball, forehand miss on the 30-all point. That was a tough ball there, but he just gave Federer the early break.
Lots of focus here on the rings that she's wearing on her fingers. A big diamond, Mary. And then a new emerald ring on the other side. They focus on everything, Dan. It's a long tournament.
But you don't have to report every one of them.
It's looking like we are going to be talking about rings and things.
It's only 2 love, Chris. It's only 2 love.
Patterns repeat, though, don't they? some nice counter-punching from Blake.
Well, Blake anticipates that approach from Federer. Maybe in watching the tapes, he saw some tendencies. He took that right off the bounce for the pass. Only the second serve that Blake's had a look at right here. That's a good return. Blake well inside the baseline, and the short backswing unloads on that return.
Strong answer from Blake. Disappointed in his own opening service game. Gets the break back. Quick exchange of breaks in this opening set, this men's quarterfinal. Blake to serve now 1-2 as the crowd gets settled in. Any seat, James says.
Helping out, helping the ushers out.
See if that break, featuring some big returns, gets him into this match.
Low 15.
Well, there's an example of just going for too much too soon in the rally from Blake. Trying to unload on a forehand that's just not there. Got to work some points here.
You know, James' instinct, Patrick, is when he's stretched out, when he's on the run, rather than playing defense and kind of relying on the speed to stay in the point, is to pull the trigger quickly.
He's gotten better at that, but in general, yeah, particularly on the forehand. On the backhand, he will get over there and slice it back, which has improved a lot. But yes, if you stretch him out on the forehand, Blake, generally he will go for a big one. Very important to have a good, solid service game here from Blake. His first ace.
That's exactly the kind of point that's been partly responsible for the losses to Federer. If he doesn't make the first serve, he's instantly behind in the point and in real trouble.
Chris, so hard to go backhand to backhand with Federer unless you have a big backhand like an Albanian or an Safin or an Agassi, and it's not really the strength of James, so it's going to be a tough thing for him to pull off.
And Darren, Roger is already moving so well tonight that it's going to be hard to find his backhand as much as Blake wants to.
Well, that's the thing, because James doesn't have a lot of power on the backhand side. Roger feels like he can hit a forehand on that shot most times.
Blake already struggling mightily on his second serve. He's won just 1 out of 6 points there. See, that's what James has to do, is move around and hit a forehand, but he can't afford to miss him. And he's been doing that because he's feeling that pinch already.
Yeah, I think every time he misses a first serve, you can just almost feel the anxiety from him in the second serve point.
Deuce.
Great hitting from Blake. He missed the forehand. He'll challenge it.
Blake is challenging the call on the left near sideline. It's been called out.
Stepped around and took a big cut.
Oh, James is really trying to hit the cover off every ball. He played just about a perfect point there.
Yeah, it caught the line. It's a great use of the challenge system. Instead of being break point, he's got game point to get back to 2-all.
Deuce.
Long look for Federer. He doesn't like the challenge system. Oh, the belated challenge.
Ladies and gentlemen, Federer is challenging the call on the service.
That was a pretty late challenge.
Yeah, he didn't like this system at all.
I'm a little surprised the umpire actually let him challenge there because he thought about it for a little too long, I thought.
Smack on the line.
Federer has 2 challenges remaining.
But he is Roger Federer, after all.
Maria Sharapova takes a long time. What I like is she doesn't cheat. She doesn't look up to her father, her coach, to decide whether or not to challenge.
Federer doesn't either.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I like about them. I don't care if they take a little longer, as long as they don't cheat. I mean, they should get called for cheating.
Why is that cheating? Look at your box.
Yeah, that's called illegal coaching. Well, that's a nice hold, isn't it?
Never enforced. You're right, Mary. Great hold by Blake. He struggles.
Why isn't that illegal coaching?
It's not a rule. I mean, it may be.
Yes, it is.
No,
You're
it
not
isn't.
allowed to.
No, there's no. You could say that that's coaching.
It is
yes.
coaching.
But
And that's illegal
but
in our
there's
sport.
no rule that says that the supervisors and the umpires know that the players look up to the box. So they don't consider that coaching in
What
the
do
way
they consider it?
They consider it asking, what do you think?
That's considered coaching.
But it's never ever been called.
That's another one of my problems with this thing.
But if they considered it illegal, wouldn't they call it?
Well, I think they should. That's my
that's
point.
different. That's different. You could say you think they should consider it illegal, but they don't at the moment.
Well,
They don't
man.
consider it illegal.
How can they not consider that illegal? Oh, that's very legal.
That's legal.
That should be illegal.
Some people think that's illegal, right?
15 long.
Everything okay up there, guys?
Thanks for checking.
I may join you at courtside. I think if they take a long time, look at the box, and the box hesitates, and then they hesitate. Yeah, that you shouldn't have a time gap of 3 or 4 seconds before you decide whether to challenge. But
you should be able to be illegally coached immediately. That's your point?
I don't-
Very interesting
I
distinction.
don't view it the way you do.
Clearly.
And most players look at their box after every point anyway. I mean, not Federer.
It's my guy. There we go.
Look to the box, James, and see if he should challenge. Come on, look to the box.
No look, no challenge, and no trouble for Federer holding. On serve in the first. Blake serving at 2-3 in the first set.
Oh, what a point! The tweener for the lob.
Not often do you see the guy who hits the tweener win the point.
Incredible court coverage from both guys, and he actually means this to hit the lob off of that. Pulls it off. Incredible shot.
Don't try the tweener lob on your public court at home.
No.
30 all.
James had the strut going after that point as well. That got him fired up.
Killer, the Blake Camp tightly put the game plan coming in. Do you see any different approach so far?
No, not yet. He's really trying to hit the ball hard at the moment, and for me, it's just a matter of time before he gives away a game. I know he broke back early, but this is a tough way to play Federer.
Sneaking in.
There's that slice from Federer, which is so effective.
14-15.
Cat-like quickness. Actually, that one he hit over that second one, used a slice to set it up, and then knocks. What a beautiful volley.
You agree this is a little out of the comfort zone for James? It's only a matter of time for him. Gives away a break.
I got to say that, to me, I mean, I've seen James go for a lot more. I mean, to me, he's actually playing with tempering his game slightly. Whether or not he's not going to give away a break, I'm not going to predict that. But he's trying to work some points. He's serving better the last couple of games, so that's helping.
And the one thing he is doing that I haven't seen him do a great deal is hitting a few slice backhands, and I think that's a good thing as well. So I'll give him that. He's certainly working hard on the backhand side to keep in the point.
Now he's recovered from that awful first service game and pretty fortunate to be 3-all in this first set. Tsonga and Nadal, which Darren thinks will be one of the matches of the tournament. That's the semifinal here tomorrow night. The winner gets Djokovic. Play the men's semis on consecutive nights here, so the winner of one semifinal, that Nadal-Tsonga, will have 2 days rest until the final.
Yeah,
actually 3 days rest. Two off days, but 3 days between.
I don't think that's a big factor as long as you get that 1 day off. Interesting thing about the semifinal matchup to me is whoever wins this match is by far the elder statesman of that. You've got three young guys. And Djokovic, Nadal, and Tsonga, just 22, the young Frenchman. So the young guns really stepping up here down under.
Federer is so gifted with that pickup, flicking backhand cross court. If you haven't seen Tsonga play much and you haven't watched our coverage, if you didn't watch him beat Mikhail Yuzny in straight sets, tune in, watch him play Nadal. You'll enjoy the tennis of this guy. Very talented guy, big hitter. Much improved mover. Federer very comfortable on serve his last couple of games. 4-3. Blake coming up with some great stuff and so far hanging in there in this opening set. Roger Federer sharp in the early going, is serving at 80%, 13 winners. The good news for Blake, he's hanging in so far on serve.
15 love.
Wow.
30 love.
Talked earlier, Mary, about Federer moving beautifully in the early stages, and Blake is starting to pick up his footwork, getting around this ball nicely, good position.
I think Blake would like that the pace stay just like this. This is, you know, he's redlining it now. But Federer has the ability to change up the pace, the speed, the direction, the spin, the height of the ball. That's what throws off Blake. He likes him hard and low. That's exactly what he wants to hit. And he's quick enough to stay behind a lot of those shots against most other players. Federer's got the variety and the time himself to change up things against James. That's why this has always been a comfortable matchup for him. Like that stuff.
Federer with the shank, and Blake holds for 4-all. Guillermo Vilas, a regular visitor down under, won this championship twice in the late 70s. There's a big tournament. Willie shows up.
Willie's playing in the Legends event here.
Who's he playing with?
I was just trying to think that. I think it might be John Fitzgerald.
A couple more years, Killer, and you can edit that, right?
15 love.
Told he's playing with Mats Wilander in the Legends. Sometimes that word doesn't really fit those guys. In this case, it does.
15 love.
Now, it was one of the few times that James has tried to come over the return of serve. I actually think he's returning well here. He's blocking a lot of these first serves back and getting into the points.
Federer is serving a very high percentage in this set. One of his few misses.
Wow.
Not that many one-handed backhands I can go this big. That's what Blake wants. He wants us to be, you know, air hockey. He wants the points to look like that, like air hockey points. Like that? Yeah.
Oh, called out. Might be time for a challenge.
Big swing and a second serve. 4-all, 30-all. Just missed the forehand.
He's in a pretty good position, though, Chris. So I think that's, you know, I'd call that a good miss. He wasn't taking a wild swing at us. You know, similar to that backhand return. He didn't take a huge cut at that, and he got the winner. Better second serve there from Federer. And that's, I think, a little bit of a new wrinkle from Blake against Federer. He's looking for this play a lot more. The backhand up the line. And he's caught Federer a couple of times in this game.
Deuce.
That might actually be the key, Patrick, if he changes it up. Because if Federer's not looking or something, he won't have that amazing quick first step of his. And then he gets sometimes, then he's just not quite to the ball enough to go for his best stuff.
Let the service.
Blake a small chance to get a break point in that game. Just missed it. Federer holds for 5-4. Tennis Channel's coverage, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Then Wednesday, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 on the West Coast. Women's semifinal. Sharapova, boy, she's been so impressive, dismissing Justine Henin. She'll face Jankovic. Fellow Serb Ivanovic will take on Daniela Hensikova, who makes the semis of a slam for the first time in her 29th slam. Then right back here, 3:30 a.m. Eastern, Tsonga and Nadal, that semifinal we talked about. Blake serving to stay in this first set. If the pattern holds, this would be the time when the Federer would kind of shift up to a little different gear.
Yeah, he has that ability, doesn't he? Blake's hitting the ball well. He's settled down after dumping serve in the opening game when he threw in 2 doubles and missed a couple of forehands.
Hasn't had a double fault since then.
Yeah, and I think he's playing within himself right now. I mean, he's playing well, but I don't get the sense right now that he's out of his comfort zone right now. It looks like he's right there with Federer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Blake
Challenge,
the
the lines person who was dodging that tennis ball hesitated to make the call.
Federer had started to walk to the other side.
That did just clip the outside of the line. It's an ace.
The only thing that can really annoy Roger Federer is the challenge system. That really gets him going. He hates it.
Tipsarevic got under his skin by using lots of challenges in that match, and the lines people were also off, and a lot of the challenges were upheld by players. Yeah, so he was definitely, Mary, you said schwitzing. He was disheveled in that match. You never see Federer disheveled, and he definitely was in that match. 5-all.
And it ticked him off in the Wimbledon final, remember, against Nadal. So Federer says, well, I can play the backhand up the line as well.
But Patrick, I really agree with you there that James is certainly playing within himself now. He's giving that forehand of his a little bit of margin, and normally when he hits it low and flat, it's about 3 inches above the height of the net. At the moment, he's getting it about 6 to 12 inches above the height of the net with a little more spin. That means he's really starting to work his forehand and not blast every ball.
30.
Except for that one.
Well, he's trying to go for too much on that wide forehand return. Federer has such great accuracy with the serve that he's just able to get it away from Blake enough to force him to really have to reach for that. Another one there.
Game Federer.
Blake, when we come back, we'll try to serve his way into a first set tiebreak. See if we can discern what that is.
It's a little lamb karma there. It says
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're reading it. I was just trying to look at it and know what it was.
No.
That's no fair.
No, that's can't do that.
They're not exactly lined up for that out there.
Well, they were lined up.
Anything,
They're in the match. They're watching the match.
Oh, okay.
They're lined up in here.
It's been good stuff inside. 33 minutes. Airtight. Blake serving at 5-6. Each man's been broken once in the set. it long.
And he probably should have challenged that one.
Got one on the baseline, huh, Darren?
It looked very close, and he was having a long, hard look after this backhand.
And there you can see him looking down there in the replay. Well, this was the previous point, the one that Darren was talking about. It was good.
Challenging the call on the left far side line.
And now Blake's going to challenge on this backhand that he just hit cross court. But Mary, you made such a good point earlier about Federer. We just saw an example of it there. He put a little extra topspin on that backhand, got it up just a little bit higher than he's done so far in the match. And that was enough to get it out of Blake's comfort zone and cause him to miss that backhand. So not a winner, but as effective of a shot. Here it comes again. Oh, he tried to get really top on that, but it skidded off the line.
You know what he also did, Roger? That shot of that Blake challenged. Roger told him it was out. Roger was trying to save him when he did the challenge.
He's that good a guy.
I mean, it's like, don't even bother.
He's like, don't do it.
I think that was just buying time.
That's a huge shot there from Blake. The fifth forehand winner and the biggest one so far of the set for Blake, keeping him in it at 30-all, 5-6. Again, Blake's backhand lets him down there. He left one hanging short. Federer took his own backhand up the line and had control of the point.
His first serves let him down in this game, too. He needs one now. It's set point for Federer. Now the pattern repeats. The set is tight, but when the points are the biggest, Federer plays them better. 7-5. Storyline entering almost every major is Roger Federer's pursuit of history, pursuit of Pete Sampras this year with 3 major titles. He'll become the all-time record holder, 2 behind Sampras now with 12. If he wins this title, let's say he doesn't win the French Open, does win Wimbledon. Those would be all the chalk predictions. That gives him 14 and head to New York with a chance to collect number 15.
And
I know that's some what ifs.
And if that's the case, Pete Sampras himself has said that he will be there, that he would come to New York because he has so much respect and admiration for Federer. Of course, they played a couple exhibitions at the end of last year together. They're going to play another one in March in New York. And they got to spend some time together on a week in Asia after the Masters Cup in Shanghai. And look at that record when Federer captures the opening set. Lost just 4 matches.
Is that because he just relaxes and plays even better, or the opponent just gets deflated?
I think it's the former.
Correction was good. Replay points.
I also do think it's got to hurt somebody like James Blake, who played about as well as he could play in that first set, and he still couldn't figure out a way to win the set. It's got to hurt a little bit. And it does just allow that win, that now Roger can kind of loosen up his shoulders, go for his shots a little bit. Because he looked really pinched in that opening set.
Very uptight, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I played as well as he could play until the 12th game. I don't think he played a good service game at 5-6. Had trouble making a first serve and missed some shots, but that's the kind of pressure he's under.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, how much better can he, you know, we talk about Federer finding all kinds of gears. There's nobody else who has that many. So if your best gear hasn't won,
First game, second set.
you might be having a rough night.
It makes it 19 out of 20 sets that Federer's beaten him now. James just has to try to hang in there.
Well, we'll find out a lot about James's belief right now, you know, early in this second set. I mean, history would say that Federer will pull away right now, you know, because that's what he does. When he gets that first set, he'll continue that level. He won't hesitate. He won't relax. Or he may relax, but he'll continue to put the pedal on the floor. See if he can extend the lead quickly here.
Love 15.
8:30 Wednesday, Melbourne time. If you're just joining us, this is the last quarterfinal match of the Australian Open. Pleasant evening. Unlike Fairfield, Connecticut, where it's chilly.
Wow.
And too good, says Blake, as Federer spanks the forehand in the corner. The winner gets Novak Djokovic, who beat Federer in straight sets this afternoon. Blake already under pressure in his first service game of the second set.
Speaking of putting the pedal to the metal, look what Federer does. For the first time in the match, he comes in off the second serve return.
Blake has no chance if he can't get more first serves in. It's pretty simple.
Game Federer.
Patrick, I have a question for you.
Yes, Darren.
Does James normally have so much variation with that ball toss? Because that thing is all over the place. It's a long way forward sometimes, and sometimes it's back, and it looks like there's no particular rhythm to that ball toss.
Well, that is something that he struggles with, yes. So, I mean, I don't think he wants to have that. But that is something that you know, gets away from a bit. He's a very streaky sort of server is James, and I think the other point that Chris is getting at, when you see those second serve points, that James has only won 30%. You know, you have to recognize that mid-match and say, you know what, maybe I need to pull back and take a little off my first serve, get more in play. But James is very hesitant to do that, which I think is a problem for him. You know, when he does start to struggle, to continue to go for big serves, as opposed to maybe I need to hit 75–80% speed, get more first serves in play.
He wants to hit his way out of trouble.
Yeah, you can't do that against Roger.
Got a chance here at low 30.
15-30.
Mistimes the return.
So look what Federer did there. Love 30. Big point on his serve. He's up a break. He takes a ton off the first serve. Just throws it out wide. And Blake goes for too much.
For James Blake, his best plan is power. If that's not working, his next plan is more power.
And it's hard to hit with a lot of power when Federer is serving like this, spreading the court on him, mixing it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Federer is challenging Paul on the second service line. It's been called out.
Catch the line. So another first serve for Federer on double break point.
First service.
Missed the forehand.
Ladies and gentlemen, Federer is challenging the ball on the left far side line. It's been called out.
All of a sudden, Fed likes the challenge system. I think that's kind of a wasted challenge. You cut the line?
How long is this taking?
You said, how long is this taking? Yeah, it was a few inches wide, and perhaps out of frustration. So Blake gets on the board, gets the break back. He's a big New York Giants fan and really enjoyed the Giants' huge win over the Packers to get into the Super Bowl, and he knows how to play the underdog role here tonight, just as Giants will in the Super Bowl.
No?
Is that true? You made a deal with him?
Well, he wanted just if he beat Federer. He said, well, if I just beat Federer. I said, no, you got to win the whole thing, okay? So, and he reminded me of that again tonight. But I don't think at the moment, Mayor, that he's going to come late.
You might be on the same flight.
Yeah, at this point.
Right. Fate and Petrova's meltdown allowed him to share a special moment in the locker room with the Giants beating the Packers.
I told him we'd get the nice big screen TVs in Vienna, you know, after midnight, we'll sit back, watch the game.
You sure it's on in Vienna? It's on down here, we know that.
As big of football fans in Europe as they are in Australia, that's true. It looked like this set was going to get away from James in a hurry, but he gets a break and a chance to get back to 2-all here.
Both players annoyed. It'll be another first serve for Blake. It's been a while since an American has knocked off a top-ranked player in a slam.
And Federer has won 40 straight matches against Americans. Last one to beat him was Andy Roddick in 2003.
Canada, the one win he has against Federer. Yeah.
Which is in the third set tiebreak.
Nice cross-court forehand winner. Blake says, don't count me out of this set, 2-all. Chris Rogers got a pretty good record against most nations.
True.
Spain might be the exception.
Argentina's gotten him a few times. Cañas and Nalbandian, but
the Argentina probably overall, right? The trickiest nation for him with the two hardcourt wins by Cañas.
Nadal's beaten him, what, 6-7 times.
Right. Federer has not been unbeatable on a hard court the last few years, just unbeatable at a major on a hard court. Trickier proposition, taking 3 sets from it.
30 love.
Mickey Singh says 39 straight hard-court Grand Slam wins for Federer. It's a little cruise down the Yarra River. The tennis just a short walk from downtown Melbourne.
40 love.
Both players staying at a casino right in the heart of downtown. Federer commanding service game, 40 love lead.
Game Federer.
On serve in the second set. Back live from Melbourne after this. Our coverage presented by Franklin Templeton Investments. Big story down under. They were calling it Black Tuesday, the worst day in the Australian called shares market. They reckon 400 billion worth of stocks lost in one day. The Australian tumble mirroring what's going on in the U.S. and pretty much all the markets around the world. So these folks lost a lot of money, but they're seeing some good tennis tonight. So hope they their spirits bright. 2-3 second set.
15 love.
Blake trying to maintain contact and hope he can play the bigger points in this set better than the first, because it's a similar pattern to the first set right now. Early break for Federer and then break back by Blake.
And Jones is having a lot of success dragging Roger out wide to the forehand side. Not going after the backhand too much when he gets the opportunity with his forehand to drag him out wide. And also that backhand down the line of James's has been working well as well.
It's unusual from Federer, to sort of floating that return long on the slice backhand.
That ball toss was so far in front.
His first double since the first service game. It's hustling by Blake. Couldn't do much with that way behind the court.
Well, this court has really been taking the slice, and you see a lot of players going to that one-handed backhand slice, and Blake went to it there, but Federer handles that ball as well as anyone, so that doesn't really bother him. Oh, good stuff from James.
And a good time for it. Had a 40-love lead in that game. Felt a little bit of pressure, but that overhead levels the second set at 3-all.
They're using every bit of the court. It's kind of fun. Some of these points are they're all over the place.
It's a big court.
Well, and they're both quick enough to keep these things going.
They know how to make it big, too.
Boy, that's become such a great serve of Federer's, hasn't it? Just slide wide.
Caught Blake leaning the wrong way.
You know, it's nice we showed you a couple of games ago the way Federer moves the serve around with our shot spot technology. What that doesn't show you, but what makes Federer's serve even more effective, is the different spins, the different action he gets on his serve. He can put a little slice on it, he can cut it, he can top it, all with the same toss. You cannot read his serve. Like that one. That looks like he's throwing it over his head as a kick serve, and instead he slices it out wide. And that's why you see Blake, you know, just watching the ball go past him a few times in this game. He can't pick it up.
think an unreadable ball toss is crucial, as important as miles per hour.
Crucial. Oh, it's more important.
14-15.
It's more important. It's like a major league hitter. If you throw them a fastball down the middle, they can hit it. But if you pick the corners, if you throw them something different, that's when you get them.
Federer goes with the fastball that time. Holds for a 4-3 lead as we head toward the pressure moments of the second set. Back in Melbourne. So look now, Mary. They're serving beer at the concession stand. You don't like that. Yeah, it is on TV. Yes,
and Mary hates it. She doesn't like it.
I just
between that and the coaching, I try to keep you. I'm going to try to keep you positive right now, Mary. This is a good match, right?
Imagine a coach with a beer would really get you angry. It's a pretty well-behaved crowd since the first few days when they had those problems.
Just wait till your children get old enough to be out on the road driving and being around drivers who've been drinking, and then we'll get back to you. Okay?
We kid, Mary, but we understand.
Federer able to backpedal and reach that.
Well, the athleticism of Federer on full display here, getting to this ball and then doing enough with it to keep it low and getting back and knocking it off. What movement there.
Now that's Blake who'll look, because he obviously was going to win that point. Now they'll have to play another first serve. And Rick Molina in the chair. Well, both players a little cranky with the lines calling tonight.
Well, it seems like they're both aiming for all the lines. So, you know, they could do something about this, too. Aim for the green part of the court.
Where's the green part?
Well, just not the white lines. There's those slender white lines.
The darker blue part.
Aim for the,
And James really has to bring it back here. He's really angry on the court.
Yeah, that's a big swing, though. It was going to be a service winner and a 30-15 lead. Now it's 15-30 after he lost the second serve point.
Now in trouble here. The second serve for Federer to look at. Ah, wow. You know, Federer has that ability to strike, and he sensed a weak second serve coming. And he made Blake pay the price for an 89-mile-an-hour second serve. Clean winner.
And it's the typical pattern when these two play. Two break points.
It really is the pressure when you play Roger Federer. He holds serve so easily and then puts the pressure straight back onto your service games. It's just, there's nowhere to breathe, no room to move.
Let's see if Blake takes a little something off this first serve to get it in play. And it's a very good one up the middle. Put some slice on it. Federer can't deal with it. 2 break points saved at a crucial part of this set.
That's good coaching there, Chris.
Just 114 miles per hour. It's about 18 less than his fastest serve tonight.
Advantage play.
That's a big game for Blake. Gets the unlucky line call, shakes it off, saves 2 break points. What was the frustration for Federer against Tipsarevic, his inability to convert break point chances. He was 5 of 21 in that match. Very un-Federer-like.
You know, both these guys, too, are such great sports, and you can see that with the way they're telling each other, good shot, well done, questioning the umpire. But this is a time when Blake needs to show Federer that he believes he can win. You know, he's up above 15 here. This is where he could pump himself up, show some positive energy to show Federer that he thinks he can take this match the distance.
Good start with that aggressive return. Another one.
15-30.
Blake had a little run of 6 straight points from 15-40 down in that service game. Is he showing the belief that you're looking for?
I like to see a little more, you know, some emotion. I think his game is, yeah.
Correction was good.
The challenge.
Wow.
Ladies and
Overruled.
gentlemen, Blake is challenging the call on the service line.
So it's called out, overruled by Molina, and now Blake will challenge the overrule. A huge point here. And it did clip the line. And again, the lines people struggling a bit tonight. I'll replay it at 15:30. Double fault taken off the board.
Blake has 2 challenges remaining.
Just that one backhand that James leaves hanging in the middle of the court that gets him behind in those points. Apart from that, he's playing really well.
Faults.
Another overrule.
Challenge.
Federer is challenging the call on the service line. It's been called out.
It's the same lines person they just showed.
Boy, he might need a break.
Players can ask for that.
Way out. Yeah, he's a little rattled, that lines person.
Pulling the trigger there.
Federer has 1 challenge remaining.
You know, he needed to play a little higher over the net there, Blake. Keep himself in the point. It was Federer under pressure at 4-all, 30-all on his serve.
Game Federer.
Big, nasty serve out wide, and Federer holds. Pressure service game for Blake now at 4-5. It's been tense and tight. See if Blake can hold it together.
Every time I step on the court, I believe I'm going to win, no matter who I'm playing against.
Will be a thriller of a match.
I've got nothing to lose. Hopefully that'll translate into my best tennis.
He's got one of the most wonderful forehands in the game. I'm not actually concerned or worried about my #1 ranking. I'm not concerned about, you know, maybe losing before a finals or a semis. I'm just focused on the Blake match, and anything else would be a mistake.
I'm looking forward to matching up with the best in the world.
Not much wrong with Federer's focus so far. Blake at 4-5. Love 15.
15-all. 30-15.
Oh, what a shot. Really wasn't a bad backhand up the line from Blake, trying to change direction in the point. You see him have a sprint back, and Federer sees it, goes right back behind him.
Let's the service.
It's Federer's ability to take the ball so early there that won him that point.
This is the problem late in that first set. Some errant forehands from Blake. Going for a lot. And Federer a point for a 2-set lead. Tremendous time for a serve out wide.
Federer wants to challenge it.
Challenging the ball.
That looked to be inside the line there.
This is his last challenge before the tiebreak.
You rarely see Federer use up his challenges. You're allowed 3 incorrect per set, and it's been rare when any player out here has used them up. Deuce. Blake delivering some big shots under pressure in this game.
Now, he's missed a couple of these in the match so far, but boy, he has hit that shot well.
That one got away from him.
Advantage, Blake.
That little slice giving him trouble there. Stayed very low.
Federer just has that way of putting his opponents in the uncomfortable position when it matters most.
Oh!
And he also has the ability that when he's in an uncomfortable position, he can come up with just a ridiculous shot.
Blake shot a look to his box. What are you going to do about that? Another set point for Federer. Each time he's faced a set point, Blake has delivered a huge first serve. Deuce for a 4th time. Longest game of the match.
Advantage, Blake.
If you wanted Blake to make a statement about belief in his intent to win this, that's a pretty strong statement. Gutsy hold, 5-all.
5 games all.
Because he was in an uncomfortable position a lot in that game.
He sure was.
Love 15.
reading things real well right now in the court, isn't he? He stayed in that backhand corner.
Well, maybe watching that tape of some of those earlier matches has paid off. He has anticipated real well. How many times at a love 30 all point has Federer gone wide to the Blake forehand and James has tried to go for broke? Federer's feeling the pressure. He's missed 2 easy volleys in this game.
Run around it and hit a forehand outside the alley.
He actually had a backhand, yeah. but the point is the right one, Chris. You've got to take that cross court with that return because you're giving up so much court. Unless you hit a clean winner up the line, you're out of position.
Federer's turn for some clutch serves when he's under pressure. Blake, can he force a tiebreak? Very similar pattern to the first set. Exchange of breaks, and now Blake serving at 5-6.
See, there was a quote there from Muhammad Ali, and tomorrow night we'll get to look at a guy who looks very much like a young Muhammad Ali, J.W. Songa.
I think he looked more like him a few years ago before he shed some weight. He's kind of like a baby-faced young Cassius Clay, but he's become a lot more fit. Songa as he looks now on the right. More of a resemblance when he first kind of came on the scene. But he played like a heavyweight last night.
No, he was very impressive.
See him against Nadal tomorrow, first men's semi. Blake 2 points from a tiebreak. A pair of nice deep backhands.
Did Federer think that Blake shot missed the baseline?
I don't think so.
No, that was well in. I think it's just the timing on the forehand he can't find.
Because he has no more challenges.
Well, we get one more now.
Now I
get one in the tiebreak extra.
Of course, the huge swing, any second set tiebreak. Within a few minutes here, this match will either be dead even or James Blake will be in a big hole.
And you know, I just think James has done a really good job this set of taking care of his service games and really giving Roger no rhythm. He's just a bit out of place here at the moment.
There hasn't been a lot of rhythm, that's for sure.
When Federer misses, it's normally because he's just not moving his feet the way he can. That's why he looked a little shaggy maybe in the early rounds here. And in some of the games, he hasn't played well here. Like that one, he didn't really step into that backhand. And that allows James Blake to get a better look at his shots and attack. See this here? See kind of a casual footwork there a little bit.
It's like one big step there, Mary, instead of those couple little stutter steps.
Yep. That's what Federer has to guard against more than anything in his game, to keep it as sharp as it can be.
That's good, solid approaches from Blake, his mom Betty. And for the third match in a row, Federer facing some adversity. Obviously, he faced a ton in the third round, winning a long 5-setter. Berdych had him down in the second set tiebreak, couple of set points. Blake has a chance here.
Sick, as you like to say.
It was sick about 4 or 5 different times in that point. Incredible return from Blake, and Federer just half volleyed it. Oh. He's got it. Two best points of the match, back to back. Incredible tennis.
Both guys have found the right gear at the right time.
3-2, Federer.
Still on serve in this tiebreak.
When to pull that out at just the right time, does Federer on a pressure point, a couple of long rallies, and he gives you the little zinger.
An intentionally short ball.
Absolutely. He knows that Blake's uncomfortable with that shot. And that's just another example of Federer's brilliance, not just in what he can do, but when he does it.
Change ends. Blake with another service point, but Federer with the mini break. 4-2.
Let's Mercedes. Federer.
Federer 2 points away, a 2-set lead.
6-2 Federer.
And a little resignation from Blake there. So many opponents that this man have felt that. His third chance to close this set out. Oh, Blake says not quite yet.
I don't usually like talking during tiebreakers, but I just want to go on record to say that this one is being played at a stupefyingly high level. And it's a ridiculous standard. especially from Federer.
And Blake's been able to force him to play some great shots. Still set points for Federer. Blake will serve at 3-6.
Well, I know it's good, Mayor, if they got you to talk in a tiebreak. That's just brilliant ball striking from both players.
Blake's erased 3 set points.
6-5. Federer.
Federer has another one on his serve now.
And second set, Federer. And 7 games to 2.
Blake finds a really high level of tennis for the second straight set. Over the second straight set, not quite good enough. Federer leads 2 sets to love. This afternoon, Novak Djokovic against David Ferrer in a quarterfinal match here. On paper, this looked tough. The head-to-head had been very close coming in, even on hard courts. But Djokovic in the near court just dismantling Ferrer. The Spaniard never really able to get in the service game to Djokovic, and Ferrer's a great returner.
It got good in the third set. David Ferrer just didn't give up, and Djokovic was feeling the pressure of the moment, was still able to respond, snap back some winners, and he arrives into the semifinals now, still without the loss of a set.
It was a very hot afternoon, and near the end of it, as Ferrer hung in there, Djokovic, a little trouble breathing, a little whinging, and Ferrer back on serve late in the set, but Djokovic able to close it out before the tiebreak, and it's a good thing. If Ferrer had won that set, you never know. Physically, Ferrer was the fresher player, but Djokovic awaits the winner of the match we're watching right now, and I think a lot of people really believe that Djokovic would have a real chance against Federer. I think he would, the way he's playing.
Absolutely. I believe that. He's beaten him just once before, as we saw their head-to-head there. That was last summer, the Masters event in Canada, which in that event, Djokovic took down Roddick, then Nadal, then Federer.
3-2-1.
Yeah, pretty impressive. And then, of course, made it to the U.S. Open final. So he's continuing to knock on the door of the big two.
Don't you think Djokovic has improved even since September in New York?
I think he's improved confidence-wise.
Right.
I think game-wise, he was there in New York. But I think the key is, for him, is that he's fresh. Now he's been there a couple of times before, and he's handled the higher expectations well by playing, so solidly here throughout the tournament and not being pushed to the limit as he was in New York in some of the early rounds.
Nasty dipping shot. You don't get a second chance. But only if you did. Now Blake
15
trying to keep his head up after another tight set when he played so well, and it wasn't enough.
And Chris, there was a good example of the new string that the players are using, the amount of topspin they can get on the ball.
That ball absolutely just dove into the ground, didn't it, Darren?
Mm-hmm.
So much whip from Federer on that forehand.
Federer uses a mixture of gut and Luxilon synthetic string, right?
Yes, he does. Blake uses all the synthetic, all the Luxilon.
A couple of quick break points for Federer.
And where the Luxilon hurts you a little bit is in shots like that. Now, obviously, James not known for his feel, but it also makes those shots a little trickier. The low ones, the little finesse shots around the net.
That's why Federer says he keeps that gut string in there.
Give it a little feel, and then you also get the whippiness.
Djokovic, one of 3 Serbians to storm into the semifinals here. Ivanovic and Jankovic, a win away each from meeting in the final. Of course,
Holy
Jankovic,
Fitch, that's all I have to say, Mary.
Which one could have been first, Matty? Jankovic has her hands full because Sharapova has been destroying opponents. Her last 3 matches, the second set, 6-0.
6-love. Yeah,
wow.
It's been a magnificent effort from Maria Sharapova. She's certainly playing better than any of the others. I like Anna Ivanovic to get past Daniela Hantuchova. I thought she played very well to beat Venus Williams today.
Do you think the photographers would like that Sharapova-Ivanovic final, Mary?
It's a Photog's fantasy.
Well, Blake got broken his opening game. Actually, each set.
Right, all 3 sets now,
so
right?
now he's been able to fight back in the first 2. Don't mention that stat to Blake right now. 116-0.
Well, we've seen some streaks die here at the Australian
That's
Open.
true.
And a loss for the first time in 33 matches. I don't feel that other streak ending.
No.
You? No.
Well, he did actually lose a match.
Davis Cup.
Yeah, exactly, Darren. And right here on this court. It was a grass court, though,
Yes,
correct? When he
that's
played
right.
Leighton Hewitt.
Correct.
Yeah. Darren just jumping all over that. Aussie pride.
That's an ace. And now Blake will challenge the overrule from Molina. Little smile. James says, hey, why not? But it was good.
Blake says, and Federer says, challenge that.
30-15. Blake has 2 challenges.
Let's give Molina, the chair umpire, some credit. I mean, every time he's overruled, he's been right.
He's at a high level, too, tonight, just like the players. The lines people, I don't know.
Yeah. 14-15.
Well, another good wide serve from Roger Federer, serving at 67% now first serves. But you know, we talked about his variation on the serve. And look at the flat one, the yellow dot, and then the red is a little more kick. And that's the exact same toss from Federer. And look at one is sliding, and the other one's kicking up a little higher. And the interesting, the difference in the speed. 100 is 1, the other one's 115. We talk about pitchers that have about 4 or 5 pitchers. So how many different serves does Federer have?
Kind of the Greg Maddux of serving.
But he's also got the power.
Right. Franklin Templeton wants you to know that the average serve speed for each guy 117.
But again, you know, it's the different spins that make Federer serve that much more effective. And of course the placement. Blake's serve is relatively the same trajectory. So if you do get a hit on it, it's easier to make solid contact.
His fastest serve a little bit bigger than Federer hits it, but
Federer likes returning pace. That's why he likes playing Andy Roddick.
But he claims he's always concerned when he plays Roddick. There's always that danger of being in long, tight sets, but he does own him head-to-head. And as those matches with Roddick go on, you can see him read the serve just better and better. Roddick will hold usually, typically early on in those matches, but as it wears on.
Hopefully a
Federer's
lot of guys
chances.
in the locker room watched how Tipsarevic served to Federer. Wasn't all about speed.
Well, Djokovic's serve is not all about speed either when it comes to pure miles per hour or number of aces in a match. He doesn't have, you know, gaudy stats, but people say his ball toss is very tough to read, and he's capable of variety.
Absolutely. He has the ability to hit a kicker and flatten it out, go body.
And big serves feel a lot bigger if you've been thrown in changeups, off-speed balls, moving it around the box.
Yeah, when Federer hits 125, 130, it feels a lot bigger than, you know, an Andy Roddick serve.
Exactly.
maybe not an Andy Roddick serve, but you get my point.
Oh, we saw David Ferrer. All the stats say that Ferrer is the best returner in the men's game. He's got superb statistics on winning return games and converting breakpoint chances, and he wasn't even able to get into Djokovic's service games today for the most part. So would Federer be in every service game, or is it going to be a lot of holds and deep, long sets?
So there'll probably be quite a few breaks.
You think so? Yeah. Federer up 2 sets in a break.
What a dream it would be to win all 4 Grand Slams at the same time.
Rod Laver, of course, the last man to do it. He steps up and swats it in the open court. Talked about the pursuit of history. There's a lot on Federer's platter this year, obviously. The calendar slam, trying to win his first French Open, the Olympic gold medal in Beijing. He has that very high on his list. Something he was denied in 2004. The Golden Slam, how real a possibility?
I think it's a long shot. I mean, only because I think that it's not going to get any easier for Federer to win the French. The way Nadal's looking and playing, and Djokovic, I think, could be a factor on clay.
Nobody should give him this title down under yet either.
No, absolutely not. Blake doing his best impression of a Federer point here.
Yeah, give a little look at Roger did. A kind of a respect. That's my shot right there.
Yeah, take it right off the bounce, off the backhand wing.
14-15.
But Blake's played well. I mean, we got to give him credit. He's hung in there mentally. He hasn't gotten down at all. He hasn't gotten negative. He did play a loose game to lose serve in the first set at the end of the set.
He's forced Federer to play some great stuff. Blake thought that shot missed the baseline. Kind of seemed to skid. It caught the line.
Well, again, this is the line that I've noticed that the players are wrong most of the time. And they're wrong again here. That one that lands right at their feet on the baseline is very hard to see it.
Studies back that up.
Do they? My studies do anyway.
No, I'm just saying your observations.
Blake has 1 challenge remaining.
It's been a while since any player has won 3 straight Australian Opens.
Everything he does seems to challenge some milestone, some record.
There's Emo jumping over the net, having done it for the 3rd time. Of course, this is back when the Australian Open was played in Kooyong on grass.
Taking on the rocket there, Rod Laver. Yeah, do some double knee jumps. So Harry Hopman used to have us doing those, didn't he, Mary?
I remember them very well.
Yeah. Legendary Davis Cup captain for Australia through all the...
Did you get the knees up on the chest there?
Well, maybe when I was like 15 a couple times. Then Harry Hopman left Australia and came to Long Island. And
we were lucky enough to be with him.
First day that Harry Hopman saw my brother John show up they used to do a test to see, what level you were at, to put you in a certain particular group. And he saw first time he saw my brother play, I think he was 11 or 12 at the time. He said he's going to be #1 in the world. And the first time he saw Mary, he said she's going to be one of the most unbelievable commentators ever. And the first time he saw me play, he said, that guy might be a decent doubles player.
At 11, he had John Pegg for #1.
Yep. True story.
Probably didn't say that a lot.
The other stuff I'm embellishing just a little bit.
9:30 in Melbourne. If you're an early riser in the East Coast, welcome. Missed some excellent tennis so far tonight. Roger Federer pushed to the limit by James Blake. Two very tight, high-quality first sets. Both going to the world number one. He leads 3-1 in this third set for a spot in the semifinals of the Australian Open. It would be the 15th straight slam semi or better for Federer. That's ridiculous, and that is a record. Goes back to the French Open in 04 when Gustavo Kuerten took Federer out in straight sets. Last slam he missed in the final four.
Oh boy, he's opening it up now, is Federer.
Frozen by that little floating forehand that caught the line. So Federer rolling along, up 2 breaks now in the third set, 2 games away from the semis. Our live coverage of the women's semis Wednesday, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 on the West Coast. Sharapova, Jankovic, followed by Ivanovic and Hantuchova. Both Williams sisters dismissed in the quarterfinals. Only the second time they both lost the same round of a slam. Tsonga and Nadal. It's a night match here. You can see it 3:30 a.m. Eastern time, late Wednesday / Thursday morning. Federer on cruise control now. Apparently Blake can file this away. You know, something to be proud of, this run in the tournament and this performance tonight. But again, file it under the not quite good enough category.
Well, after one of his losses to Federer a while back, Blake said, look, I'm trying as hard as I can. Maybe I'm a slow learner. It might take me a while, but maybe one of these days I'll get over the hump. Maybe one of these days he'll have a bad night's sleep or have a fight with his girlfriend or something. Hard to count on that, of course.
He's having off-the-court problems. He didn't seem to. They never seem to be brought on the court.
He's just opening everything up now. Federer just in full flight. 9 winners in the set and 1 error.
And is there anything in the world that looks like Federer in full? I mean, not even Rod Laver, after whom this stadium was named. So you have a look at Brian Barker, Blake's coach. Not even even Laver says he's never seen anything like Federer. Says it's almost unfair how much talent he's got.
Game for draw.
There's a hold for 5-1. Next up for James Blake, you heard him refer to the Davis Cup. Austria would play in a couple of weeks. You had Kubek and Meltzer and
indoor play.
Right back at it. A very short celebration in Davis Cup. You don't get much time to cherish the nation's first championship in about a dozen years.
Yep. Right back to work. Just leave a week after this tournament ends.
I like how the McEnroes have made the Davis Cup their own. John having played it and won it, and now Patrick McEnroe captaining it. I have to say very quickly, though, years before Harry Hopman said John McEnroe was going to be #1, I did.
You did.
And you were how old? Oh, I missed that.
Was that one of those Douglaston Club matches?
It was a Douglaston Club. John and Patrick and I, as you know, Chris, we grew up a couple blocks away from each other, played at the Douglaston Club, and when John was about maybe 9 and I was 11, he'd started beating me easily, and I said to him one day, we sat on the bench, I said, you're going to be #1 in the world one day, and he said, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. Which I look back now and I realize it was my first commentary and my first review.
I thought you were going to tell me that John said, yeah, I know.
No, no, no. This guy wants to be even better than Laver. And remember how touched Federer was when it was Laver who handed him this trophy. Started crying. That's how badly he wants to keep winning these majors.
And that's how much respect he has for the history of the game and the great players.
He was very nervous, he said, with the fact that Bjorn Borg then showed up at Wimbledon for the final with Nadal, and he looked back and he saw Borg sitting in the royal box, and that contributed to some nerves as he equaled Borg's record of 5 in a row. After sit down, Federer will come up and try to serve out this quarterfinal match. Keep alive another march toward history. Federer to serve out this match, up 2 sets and 5-2 in the third. And you'll have to play at this level at least against Djokovic, you'd have to believe, here in a couple of nights' time, Patrick.
Well, he seems to, he doesn't seem, he is able to pick it up in the later rounds at the majors, and I think he's picked it up tonight. 43 winners, 44 now, his 12th ace, 22 unforced. Certainly Djokovic provides, I think, a few more problems in matchup-wise than Blake does.
If fewer ways to hurt Federer than Blake does, actually.
Serves more consistently, returns more consistently.
Backhand a bigger weapon.
Yeah, he's got a big back. You know, you think about all the players that have beaten Federer. They all can really hurt him from the left side of their body. Either great two-handed backhand or obviously Nadal with his big forehand, so they can go after Federer's backhand consistently with big shots. Now Bandian, Safin, even Gasquet that beat him once.
Murray's got a great
Murray.
If you count that match in Cincinnati as a win.
Blake continuing to swing away.
You can tell the crowd appreciates the effort that he's given and the level that he's forced Federer to achieve tonight. And all 8 quarterfinal matches will apparently be decided in straight sets. But this has been perhaps the best of them. Blake a chance.
Now this would be nice for James. He deserves this break.
You're right, he did deserve that break, the effort he's given tonight.
Yeah, James's attitude down here has been absolutely first class. And look, I think he goes away from this match, if he does lose, with a couple of things. You know, he's got a lot of progress when he's hit a heavy ball out to Federer's forehand. I think that's been a good play for him as well. We saw him the first 2 points of the break. He'd come in and put balls away by coming in on Federer's back, and that's probably something he could have done a little more in this match. But look, it's difficult against Rog. He just doesn't give you much to get in on.
Blake with a huge forehand in the middle of that rally, and Federer showing his defensive skills, then gets Blake on the run. He's telling himself, hit a higher ball over the net, more topspin.
Thirty 15. Gang play.
Well, the Aussies love nothing more than when you bravely fight on against the odds and don't give in, and Blake hasn't yet. That's nice. Just about 2 hours of high-octane tennis here. Roger Federer, a second chance to serve out this quarterfinal. Blake still fighting from the last 2 games. Get new balls.
It doesn't make it any easier for Blake. It's unbelievable how much whip Federer can get off that short forehand, the low ball. Boy, just no hesitation at all. His last loss here was that epic semifinal to Safin.
Making even more fans down under here with this refusal to quit.
James Blake was asked the other day, about the fact that he's 28 years old and time is running out, and he said something so lovely. He said, "Look, I'm already proud of what I've done. This performance tonight should make him even prouder."
I think the other good news for him there is that he has gotten better.
Yes.
I mean, he's played his best tennis in his last couple of years, and there's no reason to think that he's not going to continue to play at this level for a few more years. He's fresh, he's fit, he's eager,
Ladies and gentlemen,
and he's challenging.
Blake is challenging the court on the left far side line. It's been good.
Will go down
14-15
as ace number 13 for Federer.
Match point.